blowouts. Rollins winning versus Florida Tech 79-53. Dover Southeastern holding Surface the top seed, winning 83-67 over Barrier. The game that we saw, the stunner of the tournament, 7-seeded St. Leo knocking out co-regular season champion Lynn 68-50, and the game wasn't really even that close.
We're set to go. Tampa the 6th seed. Eckerd is the 3 seed. Eckerd will be in the home white jerseys, while, of course, Tampa comes in the black tops and black shorts. And, Vic, kind of what jumps out to you in the starting lineups here in the early going?
Look for the inside matchup between Crystal Charles, number 32, first-team all-conference selection, and number 34, Mariah Hodge, who was a second-team all-conference selection. Whoever wins that battle between those two will dictate how this matchup will go here in tonight's game.
All right, we're set to go here. Final game of the women's quarterfinals action today. And the jump ball is won by Tampa. And Tampa will bring the ball up. Vivo now brings it up. So you got Williams now. Shamika Williams, the guard. Over to Alyssa Vivo. Inside they go. Hodge missed. Shot, rebound, Eckerd.
Nice rebound by Liga Vente. She's going to be a critical portion of Eckerd on the defensive end in terms of rebounding and getting the Tritons out in transition.
There's Charles, Crystal Charles. Remember that name, first team all conference. She's inside. She gets the ball here, post up, kicks it out over to Thomas. Now Charles hands it off. Pull up, jump shot, off glass is good by Kayla Bolin and gives Eckerd a 2-0 lead.
Bolin, a really unheralded portion of this three-guard lineup by Coach Richard Hossinger, but Bolin does a great job of moving the basketball and getting the rest of her teammates involved early in the offensive sets.
These two teams played twice during the regular season, won both times by Eckerd. Here's the jump shot is missed, and the rebound to Charles. Here comes Eckerd, brings the ball up. Eckerd won the first meeting 63-53 back on January 9th, and they won the most recent meeting 68-46 over Tampa. And Vic, it was more of the perimeter game for Eckerd that was the difference in those two matchups.
And look for it the same here as Crystal Charles has a chance to knock down the three, but misses that one.
And the rebound went out to Caballero, as here comes Tampa. Caballero bringing the ball up, now the freshman out of Venice, Florida. She drives, puts it up, and does not get the roll. And the rebound over to Eckerd and Raina Thomas, the sophomore to Springfield, Missouri. As now Charles, first team all-conference. Hands it off there over to Liga Vente. They try to go inside. The Charles is thrown out of bounds. Turnover, ball going over to Tampa.
And one thing that Crystal Charles likes to do, she not only likes to play with her back to the basket, but she plays more the European style. Her favorite player is Pau Gasol. She'll pull up. She's not afraid to pull up. We saw the three-pointer she had in the corner in the first shot attempt. So you got to be very respectful of the wide range that Crystal Charles can bring on the offensive side, as well as the defense, second in the league in rebounding with just under 8 rebounds per game.
Vivo with the ball to Williams, gets a pick, drives, and will draw the foul on Bolin. That'll be her first foul.
Let's check that. Actually going to call that foul on 15, Raina Thomas. Call her for the foul.
So the earlier reach-in, nonetheless, they'll go to the free throw line now is Shamika Williams, the junior out of Baltimore, Maryland, 5'7" at the line. And the first free throw is up and good to get Tampa on the board.
And Moya's missed a month of action, and she coming back during the last 3 games could be a real integral part of what Coach Tom Jesse wants to do on the offensive and defensive side. She hits the second free throw.
We are tied at 2. Over 2 minutes gone by here in the first half. Glad you can join us to watch great action here. The Sunshine State Conference Championships, day of the women's quarterfinals. Final game of the day. It's been 4 games here. The semifinals will take place on Saturday. Now Charles hands it over to Bolin. Bolin, top of the key to Thomas. Thomas goes inside. Vente, runner, got it. Score by Liga Vente. The junior out of Omar, Latvia, gives Eckerd a 4-2 lead.
And Vente has that range. Don't let the fact that she's 6'3" fool you. She has some nimble feet when she gets within 10 feet. You saw that right there in the turnaround.
The three-pointer is good from the corner by Caballero to give Tampa 5-4 lead. And Williams driving a lot early, using a lot of pick and roll on the top of the key early, Victor, to set the Tampa offense.
And that's Williams' game. Dribble penetration, kick it out to an open shooter, and Caballero is able to capitalize in the corner.
They bit a bit of a half-court press. Now they pull back to man-to-man defense. Thomas swings it out to Bolin. Bolin being guarded by Williams. Now Charles over the top of the key. They hand it off to Thomas. We got 4 on the shot clock. Thomas got to do something with it, and it gets deflected, and it's intercepted. Here comes Williams for Tampa, 2-on-2. Williams will pull it back. Now kicks it out. Three-point shot. Vivo is good. Alyssa Vivo, a junior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, gives Tampa an 8-4 lead.
And Vivo, the iron woman of this Tampa team, showing some surprising range. She is in the top 10 in three-point shooting, but doesn't take too many threes. She got a wide-open look, got the shot to fall, and Tampa in relative control so far through the first 3+ minutes.
Now Raina Thomas swings out to Charles. Charles, they go inside, post up Vente, kicks it out. Charles thought about the three. Now drives, off glass, good for the first team all conference. As Crystal Charles gets Eckerd within 2, 8-6 for the first team all conference.
And again, Crystal Charles showing that multi-layered game that she likes to play. Got the ball from the wing, decided to drive, and she knew she was going to get some contact, and she finished strong and got the basket.
Now Cavallaro over to Williams at the top of the key. They go inside, Hodge. They drive off glass, no good. Too strong by Oyer, pardon me. And the rebound now to Eckerd. Now Bolin will bring it up. And for over 4.5 minutes gone by. 8-6 in favor of Tampa. As they go inside Charles. Post up. Off glass, good. And she scores over Hodge. That's the marquee matchup you've talked about, Vic. Hodge against Charles.
And so far, Charles is winning the matchup. First driving on her to get the basket, and then back it down, turnaround jumper. Strong finish by Crystal Charles.
Vivo off glass. Got a beautiful pick at the top of the key and penetrates for the uncontested layup to give Tampa the 10-8 lead. And now a little bit of a press by Tampa.
2-2-1 full-court press as they back off as Eckerd sets up to the offense. And Annie Armstrong, who has the basketball, Eric, hasn't really been able to get going in the offensive set, and she needs to get the ball and try and get her looks in order for Eckerd to get back into this contest.
They swing it around. Thomas at the top of the key to Vente. They got 6 on the shot clock. Bolin, pull-up, jump shot. Off glass, no good. Rebound, Cavallaro, and here comes Tampa. Cavallaro pushing the ball up. Taking it all the way. Pull up, scores.
Beautiful spin move by Cavallaro, driving on Annie Armstrong. Got the finish, the roll. And Tampa, right now, really playing a good job attacking Eckerd, not letting Eckerd set the tone defensively, forcing the issue, and they've been very successful so far, shooting 4 of 8.
12-8 in favor of Tampa. We're going on 14 minutes left in the first half. Bolin gets a pick from Charles, drives to her right, and has it blocked. And here comes Tampa, the number 2 scoring offense in the conference. Hodge drives all the way, no call. And here comes Eckerd bringing it up. Bolin. Swing it out to Thomas, back to Bolin. Now Annie Armstrong, the freshman of the year in the conference. Some think could have made it easily, first or second team. She pulls up a 3. No good in her first shot attempt. And the rebound to Hodge, her second of the ball game. And here comes Tampa.
And right now, so far, Eric, Tampa has really been the aggressor on the offensive side, forcing Eckerd to play back on the heels with the dribble penetration and the kickouts.
Vivo with a nice dish to Oyer, but couldn't finish. Rebound, Charles.
Oyer looked like she was anticipating contact and left the ball a little short, kind of short arm, and anticipating the contact on the inside.
They go inside. Vente being covered by Oyer. Over Oyer, and they're going to call traveling. A turnover on Eckerd. And that'll bring us to our first timeout. 13:09 to go in the first half. With the score, Tampa 12 and Eckerd 8 here at the Sunshine State Conference Championship quarterfinals. Eric Lopez alongside Victor Anderson. Vic, let's go over the keys to this matchup between these two teams.
And for Eckerd, we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, the ability to get the outside shooting going. In the win they had against Tampa back on February the 13th, Eckerd went 7 of 14 from the three-point line, shot 54% as a team en route to the 68-48 win, so they had to continue that against Tampa today. For Tampa, they had to continue what they did through the first 5+ minutes. Dribble penetration, get inside, and force Eckerd to play back on their heels. And so far, Shamika Williams and Alyssa Vivo have been really able to dictate how they're playing offensively, and how Coach Paul Hornsinger is going to adjust to that will be very critical when we come back from this media timeout.
It's a 12-8 lead in favor of Tampa. Let's focus on some of the individual matchups. Crystal Charles, of course, first team all-conference for Eckerd. Tell us about her and what she has to do in this ball game.
Well, Crystal Charles, top 10 in the conference in points and just under 12 points. Second in the conference, 7.8 rebounds. She plays a European style where she can play with her back to the basket and back you down, but can also pull out from 16 feet or even further with the mid-range jumper, and she passes the ball very well. She's actually number 5 in the conference, averaging 3 assists per game. for Tampa, look for Alyssa Vivo, their junior from Fort Lauderdale. She's going to play all 40 minutes. She's third in the conference in 35 minutes per game. Look for her to try and dictate the tempo along with Shamika Williams and Juliana Caballero. They're going to be very critical on how they can get those guards flowing in the offense of Coach Tom Jesse.
They try to go inside to Hodge. The ball was deflected out of bounds. It'll remain with Tampa. 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Of course, the 30-second shot clock is for those of you new to the Sunshine State Conference.
Christiana Sature checks in for the first time for Tampa, as well as number 5, Taylor Bestry, who usually starts for Coach Paul Hargreaves, has been coming off the bench the last 7 games.
Cavallaro with the ball to Vivo. And again, gets a pick, drives, kick, and offensive foul. But clearly Tampa's game plan early, Vic, is they want to get a lot of penetration and pick from the top of the key and drive to the basket and either kick it out or take it to the basket.
Shamika Williams was wide open at the corner before Vivo charged into Kayla Bolin, and Vivo was called for her first foul. But a great offensive set by Tampa. Unfortunate that Vivo gets called for the offensive foul.
And now Eckerd, they go inside to Charles, but she couldn't handle it, and that's a turnover on Eckerd. Charles complaining, felt she was held, but no call. And the ball will go over to Tampa.
And the one thing about Eckerd that Tampa doesn't have, that Tampa has, Eckerd has a lot of size and length. They try to high-low with Startua and Charles down on the right block, but unfortunately they weren't able to execute that play. The turnover by Charles.
Now Williams over to Hodge, second team all-conference. Cavallaro to Vivo. Vivo drives and loses it, and Charles has it for Eckerd. Here comes the number 3 seed, Eckerd here, as they bring the ball up. Armstrong over to Bolin. Charles. See if she'll set the pick here for Bolin. Nope. Bolin hands it off to Annie Armstrong. Bolin. Charles at the perimeter. So we got 10 on the shot clock. Looks a little stagnant right now, this Eckerd offense, Vic.
They got to get a pick, and they got to get something going to the basket, and right now.
Charles will shoot the 3. Got it! A three-pointer by the first team all-conference. Charles pulls Eckerd within 1, and kind of a break there. They were kind of stagnant on offense, but when you have the first team all-conference drilling a 3, hey, sometimes it makes you look good.
And Tampa really kind of slacked off on defense the last 5 seconds. They gave Charles that look at the top of the key with the shot clock running down.
Now Vivo drives, and Vivo scores. She has been very aggressive, Vic, taking it to the basket at will, and has really off to a great start. And that's 7 now to lead Tampa.
And that's Alyssa Vivo's game, Eric. Driving hard to the basket all 40 minutes. She's going to make you front her, trying to protect the basketball, and that's what Alyssa Vivo does best.
They go post up inside the Charles, covered by Oyer. They swing it around. And again, 8 seconds left here in the shot clock. Annie Armstrong, the freshman's got to do something with it. 2 on the shot clock. Will drive. And no.
No, going to say they didn't hit the rim.
So Bolin had to do something with it. Shot clock violation. What's going on here right now with the Eckerd offense here?
Well, number one thing, Eric, Tampa is putting Alyssa Vivo on Annie Armstrong, and Armstrong hasn't been able to get free from the great stifling defense by Vivo. Armstrong only has 1 shot attempt, and that was a late 3 that came during the first 4 minutes of this contest. So give Tampa credit putting Vivo, probably their best defender, on the freshman of the year, Annie Armstrong. And secondly, there's not a lot of movement on the Eckerd offense. When Eckerd gets going offensively, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of quick passing, and they're able to get wide open looks from Bolin for Armstrong or Charles down low and over Liga Vente. And they've not been able to do that because the lack of movement and being stagnant on the offensive end, and give Tampa a lot of credit because they've been able to capitalize and force Eckerd to get shots with the shot clock running down to 5 seconds or less.
It is 14-11 in favor of Tampa. 10:41 to go here first half. Tampa the 6th seed, Eckerd the 3 seed. This is a big game, and for obvious reasons after what we've witnessed prior to this game. As here's this day, it's been interesting, some blowouts, but boy, we got a bit of a surprise right before this game that could open up for the winner of this game.
St. Leo, the number 7 seed, knocking off the top to 2nd seed in Lynn, 68-50. And St. Leo, a team with Teresa Mangrasso and Chelsea Williams. That's a team that whoever wins this quarterfinal matchup, they got to deal with a tough inside-outside combination on Saturday afternoon at 2:30. And over to our left, Eric, you see St. Leo head coach Nikki JC and her coaching staff interested onlookers for this 3-6 matchup taking place.
Tampa inbounds the ball. Williams brings the ball up. You mentioned Williams missed a lot of time this season. How different of a team are they with Williams running the offense?
I think they're more explosive offensively, and Williams has the ability, if she needs to back down a much smaller defender, and she has one in there in Kayla Bolin.
Hodge drives, goes left, scores, and is fouled.
Great move by Mariah Hodge. Absorbed the contact by Crystal Charles. Went to the left hand off the glass. And Hodge will go to the line looking to complete the three-point play.
So Hodge, the senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, made second team all-conference. Hit completes the three-point play for Hodge, who came in averaging 11 points a game this year, 6.8 rebounds. They give Tampa a 17-11 lead over Eckerd with approaching the halfway point here of the first half. Annie Armstrong being covered by Vivo, as you mentioned, Vic. They go to Charles inside. She loses the ball, and it's turnover. Here comes Tampa. They push it up. Hodge, the senior. Nice dish to Williams, who scores on the layup. And Tampa with her largest lead of the evening, 19-11.
And give credit to Shamika Williams and Alyssa Vivo. Vivo knocked the ball away, started a fast break, and Williams running along the middle of the court. Great eyes by Sadie Oyer, who gets the assist on that basket by Williams.
Bolin over to Bestry. Bolin. Armstrong, again guarded by Vivo. That's a key matchup there. Vivo keep staying in front of Armstrong, who gets it blocked. Good defensive help there. Charles picks it up, though.
Stepped out of bounds.
And stepped out. Another turnover for Eckerd right now.
A good job by Mariah Hodge and Sadie Oyer collapsing down on Charles when she got the ball near the baseline, cutting her off and forcing her to step out of bounds. And that's turnover number 6 for Eckerd here in the first half.
Williams gets a pick. As they swing it around to Hodge. Vivo goes inside. Nice pass into Oyer. Oyer gets double team. Nice dish to Hodge, who scores the basket. Timeout, Eckerd, as Tampa currently on a 9-0 run have taken a 21-11 lead with 9:06 to go in the first half.
And so right now, Eric, Tampa's getting what they want on the inside with Oyer and Hodge on the inside on the blocks, with Vivo, Cavallero, and Shamika Williams on dribble penetration. And Eckerd doesn't seem to have an answer on how to stop the inside attack by Tampa. And what Tampa's going to do once Eckerd adjusts on getting the inside presence, it's going to open up everything on the perimeter. And Tampa, one of the top three-point shooting teams in the conference, third in the conference this year, shooting just under 33% from the three-point line this year.
You mentioned Tampa. They're number 2 in offense scoring, average about 67 points a game this season. From what you've seen early in the first 11 minutes here, why is this game so different than the first 2 meetings when Eckerd really had their way against Tampa?
One word, Shamika Williams. She didn't play in either of those matchups earlier in the year, and Shamika Williams has turned out to be the X factor in this matchup, the way she's been able to guard Kayla Bolin on the defensive side and offensively giving an outside presence for this Tampa offense.
Bolin gets a pick from Charles. Charles, who has 7 of the 11 points for Eckerd, gets a nice feed and will score in the basket. Good offense there by Eckerd coming out of the timeout, and they cut the deficit to 8.
Give it to Crystal Charles. She's been a lone offensive bright spot for this Triton team in the first half. Again, 9 of the 13 points that Eckerd has, and she has 4 of the 6 field goals for the Tritons in this first half.
Vivo pulls up, jump shot. Oh, it's been her first half. 9 for Vivo. 4 for 4 from the field, and that doesn't even account to the defense that she's done so far on Armstrong, as she gives Tampa a 10-point lead, 23-13.
And again, Vivo playing Annie Armstrong as Tampa stays in the woman-to-woman. They haven't given Armstrong any looks at all. Armstrong's going to have to try and pass it out, try to dribble it around and get herself open.
Charles from the free throw line. In and out. The iron unkind there, and the rebound to Cavallero. Under 8 to go, first half. 23-13 Tampa, the 6th seed. The winner of this game will face the 7th seed, St. Leo, who knocked off the 2 seed earlier. Now Hodge to Vivo, and they go inside to Oyer, who goes to drives, and Charles got a piece of it, gets her own rebound, does Oyer, but she then loose ball, and they're on the floor. And we're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow will go over to Eckerd.
So good job right there. It's a good job right there by Eckerd to keep the possession. It's going to take us to the under 8 media timeout.
7:35 to go, first half. Their score is Tampa 23 and Eckerd 13. And let's kind of go over the numbers here a little bit, Vic. Turnovers a key factor. 6 turnovers for Eckerd here in the early first half. How about Tampa shooting 56% from the field? You mentioned Charles, the star player, first team all-conference. Crystal Charles, 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field. But the rest of Eckerd's team is just 2 of 6 not involved in the offense.
And Tampa's pretty much saying, we're going to let Crystal Charles get her points. You're going to have to rely on Crystal Charles to beat you 1-on-5, and then not letting Annie Armstrong get any looks. Taylor Bestry has yet to have an attempt from the field so far tonight. And Tampa on the offensive end, they're getting contributions from Vivo, Cavallero. They're combined for 14 of the 23 points. And Shamika Williams, 4 points, two assists, and great defense on the woman and woman, Garland, both Kayla Bolin and sometimes Annie Armstrong.
Tampa scored 10 points off those 6 Eckerd turnovers early on in this half. And Hodge has kind of been quiet, 5 points, 2 boards. That's got to be a positive sign for Tampa. She hasn't even gotten going yet because Vivo, as you mentioned, has carried the offense.
And Hodge has done it on the defensive end, limiting Liga Vente to only that one field goal she had early on in the first minute of our game.
We're back to action now. Eckerd with the ball. Charles swings it around. Charles at the top of the key. Bolin, who's gone the whole way here in the first half. Betstry, they go inside. Vente off glass, too strong. And the rebound by Williams. Williams brings the ball up for Tampa. Up 10, 23-13. Here's Vivo. Dish. They thought about it. Pull up. Hodge now at the top of the key. Williams, he got 15 on the shot clock. Gets a pick from Hodge. Drive, spins, and in and out. Rebound, Bolin. Here comes Eckerd. Tampa gets back on D. And so Eckerd will have to set the offense. Thomas, here's a pull-up three. No good. But they get the offensive rebound. Eckerd sets the offense. Charles. Thomas. Bolin. They go into Vente. Spin. Pull up. Good.
And
nice shot there to cut it to 8.
And Vente's going to try and spin. It's going to fake left and then spin off her right shoulder and try and get that jumper near the elbow. And she gets that shot to go there. And Eckerd has to get some offense going, or else Tampa's going to run away with this first half.
Hodge inside against Charles. Nice move off glass by the second team all-conference, Mariah Hodge, giving Tampa the 10-point lead, 25-15.
And Mariah Hodge has picked a good time to play her best basketball of the year, averaging just under 13 points and 10 rebounds in the last 5 games. And she does a great job playing with her back to the basket, 10 feet in, and she does a prime example spin move, gets the right-handed floater to go in.
Thomas, Charles. They swing inside to Vente, the deflection, but a foul will be called on. Looks like Caballero will get called there.
And I think one thing I'll say here, this officiating staff, Marshall Shields, Matt Gear, and Ian Ross, have kept the flow of this game at a relatively respectable level. There has been a lot of whistles blown, and they've let the ladies settle the game on the court.
They inbound the ball. Charles dish it out to Bolin, top of the key. Thomas over to Bestry. Thomas drives off glass, scores. Nice move.
And Thomas had to deal with some contact, had to take the shot from an awkward angle. Thankfully, she got it high up the glass enough to fall in. And Eckerd has cut the lead down to 8. He need to get a couple stops here.
Well, they can't stop Williams, though, from driving to the basket and scores. And another timeout by Eckerd here, who cannot be happy right now, Vic, with their interior defense. Too many easy penetrations by Williams or Vivo. They've just lived at the paint here in the first half.
And the pick and roll offense by Tampa has been very efficient and effective through the first half of our contest. Tampa's able to get the pick and roll going, driving on the inside off the pick, or able to find someone open on the roll, wide open at the basket. And Tampa is going to keep going that pick and roll and the screen and roll unless Eckerd makes an adjustment. And right now, Coach Paul Hallsinger has to talk with assistant coach Sarah Gaffney and figure out how do we stop this interior offense by Tampa.
You have a feeling that at the half, that's going to be a long discussion about that. We got 5:13 to go in the first half, 27-17 lead for Tampa. Give the audience that maybe is just tuning in the recap of this day here, the first day of the women's quarterfinal.
Well, it's been a theme of blowouts. Eric Rollins getting the win in the first game, 79-53, getting head coach Glenn Wilkes Jr. win number 600 for his career. We send our congratulations to Coach Wilkes. Nova Southeastern, the top seed, rolling comfortably over the 8-seeded Barry 83-67. And in the game where we saw coming in, St. Leo, the 7th seed, knocking off St. Leo 68-50.
Annie Armstrong back in the game. There was a drive and there was a foul.
And that was Raina Thomas driving hard.
Pardon me. So Raina Thomas, the sophomore to Springfield, Missouri, will go to the line.
And I call her last foul on Alyssa Vivo. That's going to be her second. And she'll have to come out, something that Vivo doesn't do very often this year. She started in conference averaging just under 36 minutes played per game.
There you have it. She checks out. First free throw of the game for Eckerd is good. It cuts the deficit to 9. Of course, Eckerd number 1 in the conference in free throw shooting, 78%. So if they can get to the free throw line, Vic, they can certainly get back in the game that way.
Especially if the game get close to the late stages, but they have to get the game close first of all. But the way Tampa's playing, as Eckerd's backing off of their 2-2-1 full court pressure, Eckerd can hit free throws all day, but they can hit free throws when they're down. So again, Shamika Williams driving.
Oh, what a block by Thomas! But Tampa gets it back. Williams, 8 on the shot clock. Clock did not reset. Hodge drives, right hand, no. And the rebound to Eckerd as Vente slows it down and hands it to Bestry now. 8-point game in favor of Tampa. 4:25 to go here in the first half. Is Vente. They go to Charles. Charles swings it to Bestry. 10 on the shot clock. Thomas to Charles at the corner. They go inside to Vente, being guarded by Hodge. Vente draws the foul on Hodge.
And that was a late whistle by Marshall Shields. He called it from over to our left, and they said that Vente got hit on the arm. And you see Tampa coach Tom Jesse expressing his frustration with Mr. O'Shields.
And so Liga Vente will go to the line. The junior out of Valmiera, Latvia. And the first free throw's up and good. So the first one is good there. And
Captain Matthews going to check. Captain Sadie Ori will check back in. Greta Bartuque, who came in off the last timeout, will come out for the Spartans.
Vente, a 73% shooter free throw line during the season. It's the second one, and Eckerd cuts it down to 6, 27-21 with 4:08 to go.
And the reason Eckerd's been able to get this league down to 6 is because they've been able to be more aggressive in the block on Tampa, and the Spartans have had to adjust, and they're playing back on their heels like they forced Eckerd to play back on their heels defensively during the early stages of this contest.
Caballero tries to drive and meets traffic, loose ball, and it's picked up by Eckerd. So the momentum starting to shift here a little bit towards Eckerd here, Vic.
And one thing that they're doing, and the reason they're doing that is, again, driving inside, and they've done it with limited contributions from Annie Armstrong, who's yet to score on 2 shots in his first half.
We'll see if she can get going with Vivo on the bench. She's being guarded right now by Hodge. They did a switch, so they go inside to Vente, being guarded by, and scores. How about Vente inside? A presence. And Eckerd is within 4, 27-23.
Liga Vente's has some scoring ability in her area. She had 18-point outings 3 separate times during the first month and a half of the year. So this scoring outburst is no surprise. And Eckerd switching to a 2-3 zone, forcing Tampa to not drive inside and to beat them from the perimeter.
Eckerd on a 6-0 run. Tampa has missed their last 3 shots. Until then, a big three-pointer.
Kiki Jones hits the trifecta.
Jones stopping that 6-0 run by Eckerd and pushes the lead up to 7. Big answer there.
Big answer, and a good job by Kiki Jones, who comes in when you need to expel Vivo or Cavallero, and she can hit that three-pointer, and she has a good perimeter game for Coach Jesse.
Now Bestry over to Armstrong, the freshman of the year, who has yet to score in this game. Vente over to Thomas. Thomas drives. Raina couldn't finish. Rebound Hodge, her 3rd rebound of the ball game. And here comes Tampa trying to slow it down here with 2:20 to go first half. Tampa with a 30-23 lead, 18-8 on the season. Eckerd 14-11. Tampa's the 6th seed. Eckerd the 3. Nice drive. As they dish it out, here's a 3. No good by Caballero, and the rebound, Liga Vente. And here comes Eckerd. Armstrong. Bestry. Inside to Vente. Vente puts up her move. Off glass. No. Short. Rebound Tampa.
I thought Vente would have a better opportunity. She faked driving to the baseline. And
look at Hodge going all the way, Vic. Nice finish by the 2nd team all-conference Hodge. giving Tampa, pushing that lead back up to 9.
And I had a chance to see some video of Mariah Hodge when he played Eckerd and Rollins earlier in the year. And the one of the underrated things about Mariah Hodge is her ability to move without the basketball and make herself available for the rest of her teammates. And it was a prime example of that right there.
Vente, they're trying to knock the ball away from her. She dishes it out. 8 on the shot clock. Charles, pull up 3. No. Rebound, Caballero. Charles has been quiet here in the last few minutes, kind of settling for that perimeter shot in the last, I'd say, 5 minutes.
Because Tampa is not letting Charles go on the inside. They're forcing Vente to beat them on the inside. They said, we'll give you one, Vente or Charles. We're not going to give you both Vente and Charles.
They try to post pass, deflect it. Jones gets it back. Got 7 on the shot clock. Oh, the nice layup is good, and the foul. Caballero driving to the basket. Nice feed from Jones. And they got a chance for a 3-point play, and they have their biggest lead of the game at 34-23. And Tampa, after Eckerd made that run, has responded with a 7-0 run of their own over the last 2 minutes here, and they've pushed the lead back up to 11 with 50.5 seconds to go here in the first half.
And a play by Caballero, as we go into our final timeout of the first half, she hesitated for a second when she got that basketball, and she was able to let the defense go by her, take it up straight in the air, get the contact, get the basket, and she'll look to complete the 3-point play when we come back to action with 50.5 seconds remaining.
We got 50.5 seconds to go. What do you think both coaches will say here in the locker rooms at the half?
I think Eckerd, you may see a little bit more 2-3 zone. They went to that a little bit during the tail end of this first half, and they had some success with it before Kiki Jones hit that 3-pointer, and Eckerd was forced to go back to the man-to-man. For Tampa, same strategy. Drive it inside, drive it and kick, pick and roll, pick and pop. They're having what they want in the interior in the first half. We'll expect to see Coach Tom Jesse to tell his team to do the exact same thing here in the second half when they go to the locker room.
Mariah Hodge with 9 points alongside Vivo, both with 9 points to lead Tampa. Vivo's been on the bench with 2 fouls, so Tampa's got to be pleased that with Vivo on the bench, they've kind of maintained this lead. For Eckerd, Charles has 9 points, Vente 8 points, but the big story is Annie Armstrong, the freshman of the year, has yet to score in this game, 0 for 2 from the field, as the 3-point play is converted by Caballero. 8 for her. It's a 12-point lead now for Tampa. They're going to need Annie Armstrong in the second half to get back in this game. How do they get her going?
They got to get her on some screener rolls away from the basketball, and Kayla Boland's got to do a job of she has to be more of an aggressive point guard, trying to go for herself, and that will open everyone else up for Eckerd.
There's about a 20-second difference between the play clock and the shot clock. There's 9 on the shot clock right now. Boland gets a pick. Here's Armstrong. Gotta
hurry up. We got 3 on the shot clock. Gotta get something going.
Charles, 3 short. And the rebound to Hodge. And they can hold for the last shot here for Tampa.
And this is a great first half for Coach Tom Jesse. He's been able to get Shamika Williams and Alyssa Vivo involved on the outside. And Mariah Hodge with 9 points in the first half.
4 on the clock. She dishes it out. Here's a 3-pointer by Hodge. No good. Rebound Armstrong, and that'll do it. Here for the first half of action here in the quarterfinals, the final one of the Sunshine State Conference Championship tonight. With the score, a bit of a surprise to perhaps some people, the number 6 seed Tampa with a 35-23 lead over Eckerd here in the first half.
And it's been a very cleanly played first half, only 5 fouls between both teams, a good pace and a good flow going in the first 20 minutes. But Tampa, and I'm going to keep stressing this, Eric, Tampa's been able to get up to this lead because of their ability to drive inside, drive and kick with Vivo and Williams. And until Eckerd adjusts to that, they're going to continue to get the interior points in the paint. Tampa with 18 points in the paint of their 35 in the first half. Eckerd has to cut that number down in half in the second half, and they want to give themselves a chance to get back in this game.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have first half stats of this game and look ahead towards the second half here from beautiful Kissimmee, Florida at the Silver Spurs Arena. It's the 2013 Sunshine State Conference Championships. Final quarterfinal action of the women's tournament with the score Tampa 35 and Eckerd 23.